sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Listen, if you're like me, you hate doing admin crap. Number one, because you're not good at it. And number two, because you know it's taking you away from the stuff that actually makes you money. So why are you doing it? Do what I did. Go to worksby.com right now and let them pair you with a real executive assistant. Once I started working with Cheryl at Worksby, my income went up 40% in 1 month, and my working hours went from 70 down to 40. It's a game changer. Go to worksby.com right now, book a call, and tell them Walker sent you. If you do, you'll get 2 extra hours of service for free as a bonus. So if you're ready to finally stop doing the stuff you hate and focus on the stuff that makes you money, go to worksby.com right now. That's WORXBEE.com. Tell them Walker sent you, and you'll get those 2 free hours. I want to talk today about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've done a bunch. The topic is how to quit your job. How to properly quit your job. Now, this is a lot directed at salespeople, but I think it's also could be relevant to other people that are out there in the workforce that it's time, right? It's time to move on. Quitting your job can be a very scary thing because it's the devil you know, right? Versus the devil you don't know in a new job. But sometimes you just know it's time to move on. I'll give you 3 things to think about or 3 boxes to check that may give you a clue that it's time to look for a new job. Number 1, as a salesperson, can you continue to make more money? Are there opportunities for you to make more money? If you've reached a ceiling in your income, if you have reached something where maybe even they've capped your commission or something like that, that's clue number 1 that maybe it's time you look for another job. Number 2, are you learning new skills? If the answer is no, really haven't learned new skills around here, look at yourself in the mirror first. What are the skills that are up to you to go learn, right? And then also, what are the skills that your company ought to be teaching you? Have you taken responsibility first to learn new skills? What are the opportunities for that? And then at your company, are they allowing you to learn new skills? If the answer to those things is no, might be time to leave. The third one is, are you meeting people who can help you grow? Are you meeting people who can help you grow? In other words, if you're in a place and there is no mentor, there are not other people there whom you aspire to be, or the people that are lifting you up, right? Even though you've taken advantage of what's there, there's not room, or you're not meeting people who can help you grow. Maybe that's another sign it's time to leave your job. Now, I have done this a bunch. I think I've been in the workforce now, I'm 56, I'm in the workforce now for 35 years, which is unbelievable. Time flies. The days are long and the years are short. And I think I've had 5 different careers. I was in the banking business for about 18 months, and either I quit or got fired. I'm not sure which. Either one would have been likely. Went in the commercial real estate business, was my second career. And I did that for all told, probably 14, 15 years for 3 different companies, including my own. And then I got into the training business, and I worked for one company there, and now I started my own. So I've had about, 10 opportunities and taken advantage of 10 times to quit. So I've done it the wrong way a bunch. Let me tell you the wrong way to do it. The wrong way is to go into your boss or whomever you go to resign to and tell them what an asshole they are, and tell them all the things that they need to do to improve their company. And that's why they screwed you over. And that's why you're no longer going to stay. How do I know this is a bad way? Because I've done this before. It's not, I don't recommend it. It's not cool. And it does not leave a good taste in anybody's mouth. And chances are the person that you just blew up because you're walking out the door, you're going to run into them again sometime, maybe even in your career. And maybe even you need something from them, like a recommendation. And you act like a complete jackwad when you left, making it all about you. If you do that, you're not going to get a very good recommendation. And I know you say, I don't fucking care. I want to get away from these bastards. They're awful. Everybody knows it. Fine. You need to hold yourself to a higher standard. I think when I left one of my commercial real estate jobs, I ended up telling the president of the company that I thought that the chairman was an asshole, and that the whole thing was a political mess over there and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what he heard? What a whiny little asshole. Why did we keep him around here as long as we did? Right. So that did not reflect very well on me. And it's something I've been rather embarrassed about. And it's interesting, when I learned the right way to resign a job, I've gotten much better at it. I've done it a whole bunch, but lots of practice. But a couple things. Nobody cares what you think when you leave. After you say, I resign, nobody gives a shit what you think about the company. So keep that information to yourself. You're not helping anybody. You're only hurting yourself. It sounds like you're whining because you are. If you want to try and fix something, do it while you're in the company. If they don't want to hear, listen to it, then there's your answer. But you're sure as hell not going to fix it later on. Here's something else I want you to keep in mind. The company is not going to disappear, go to hell, be in terribly worse shape after you leave. We all think to ourselves, oh my gosh, well, as soon as if I leave, this place is going to be shit. Nobody's here to do my job. Nobody's going to do it better. They're going to be in a whole world of hurt. No, they're not. They'll be just fine. They'll hire somebody else who'll come in and do your job, and they'll do it differently, maybe better in some ways, maybe worse. Get over yourself. The company's not going to go down the tubes because you left. There's no threat there. If you're not happy, leave. They don't want you to stay anyway. So next, what I want you to think about is, am I missing some things here, right? Are there ways for me to make more money that I just haven't taken advantage of? Am I screwing that up somehow? Look at yourself first. Learning new skills, like we talked about a minute ago, are there ways that you can learn new skills on your own that would help you in that job, or things that are available to you? And meeting people, this does not have to be just in your company. It can also be your customers that you're calling on that may inspire you or may help you grow. But anyway, look for those three things. And if they're not in alignment, then here's how I want you to resign. First of all, I want you to recognize that the fact that it didn't work out, the fact that you are not a lifelong employee of that company, is no one's fault but your own. Recognize that the reason you were not a great success there was because of you. This is a hard thing to learn, especially for those of us that have a temper and those of us that are used to making excuses, right? The companies that I left before early on that I got pissed off and blew up, basically, I was an excuse-making little wimp and nothing was my fault. So it had to be the company's fault why I didn't succeed. Get over yourself. Look in the mirror. Realize that the fact that it didn't work out is your fault. Maybe you took the wrong job that you shouldn't have taken. Maybe it's because you couldn't figure out how to get along with your boss. Maybe it's because what they're asking you to do is not something you're great at and you weren't willing to work to get better at it. Maybe it's just time to go. But you need to take 100% responsibility. All right. So rule number one, this is my fault. I am going to take 100% responsibility. If you don't get that part, none of the rest of this will make sense. Okay. I had somebody call me on this a couple of years ago, 10, 15, 20 years ago, when I was leaving a company. And I said, was having a conversation with him, and he said, what happened? And I said, it's 50% my fault and 50% somebody else's fault. And my friend looked over at me and gave me the stop sign, the hand stop sign. You like this? I said, what do you mean? He said, it's 100% your fault, Walker. I'm like, okay, tell me why. And he said, because if you blame somebody else, if you give somebody else 50% of the credit or 1% of the credit for your leaving, he said, you'll always blame the wrong person. Take ownership. And then he said, what the other person does, how they accept this, how they assign blame, that's up to them. But you need to take 100% responsibility for this not working out. So take 100% responsibility for it not working out, even if your new boss is an asshole. The way to take responsibility is I haven't figured out how to get what I needed from them. I haven't figured out how to get along or to be my best around them. So you own it. And then when you go in to resign, here's something that absolutely will happen. I promise you. It's like 95% of the time when you've decided you're going to resign at 2:00 on a Friday, and your boss is always in the office at 2:00 on a Friday, the day that you choose to go in to resign, if we ever get to do this in person again, the day that you choose to resign at 2:00, the boss will be gone. Even if it's 9:00 on a Wednesday, whatever, something will happen and they will not be there, will not be available for you then. Just prepare for that. So have a backup plan. But when you do go in, right, and maybe it's with a phone call, set the meeting up. And then when you go into the meeting, here's what I want you to say. Deep breath. And then you're probably going to be really pissed at me. You're probably going to be really pissed at me. Why would I say that? Because first of all, I want to give this person room. I want to give them grace. I want to let them know that this is coming, right? Because I'm about to blow their world up. I'm about to blow their world. You're probably really, really pissed at me. This is different than I'm really pissed at you, right? Take responsibility. You're going to be really pissed at me. I have decided to move on. I've decided to quit or to take another job. Pause. Silence is your friend. You will be tempted to go on and on and on. And what I want you to think about is there is no value in my going on and on. The more that I talk, the more rope I'll give myself to be hung with. So you can be really pissed at me, I'm sure. What are you talking about? They might say. Decided to take another job. I'm leaving. I'm quitting. Whatever it is in short words. And then take a breath and don't say anything. Here's the second part of this. I want you to forgive this person that you're resigning to for whatever they say for the next 24 hours. Forgive them. Because they may say some shit that they regret because they're pissed. And understand, as soon as you tell them that, their brain is not thinking about you so much. It's holy shit. What am I going to do now? What are other people going to say? How will I get this job done? Who else can do this? Oh my God, I've got to hire somebody else. That's what's going on in their brain. It's panic. It's all about them. It's no longer, as if it ever was, about you. Let them respond to you in whatever form or fashion they do. How they respond is not up to you. How they respond does not have anything to do with you. These are the people you're leaving, right? And so if they act like jackasses, you'd say to yourself, well, I knew this was going to happen, but they can't hurt me because I'm leaving. Let them respond. And hopefully with some grace, they will say, where are you going? And by the way, if you're going to work for a competitor, you might say something like, you know what? I don't think it makes sense for me to tell you that right now. I just need you to know that I am leaving. If you want to say I'm going to work for a competitor, that's fine. But I think you can say the same thing without saying it, which is, I don't think I need to go into that right now. As they respond, if they get heated for whatever reason, I want you to respond with, look, sounds like some things are going on. Sounds like you're going to need a little while to cool down. I understand. Why don't we talk tomorrow and get everything finalized? I realize you're upset. Sounds like this is a bad time to talk. Why don't we talk either later today or tomorrow and get things finalized? Depending upon your relationship with this person, you may also add, understand I respect you too much to use this as a negotiating tool. I respect you too much to use this as a negotiating tool. I'm not doing this to get more money from you. Right? I'm doing this because it's the best thing for me. Take the pressure off. By the way, if somebody ever begs you to stay and they give you more money, not every time, but a lot of times they really can't trust you again. You're hurting yourself. The more you say, the worse things will be for you. What I would suggest you do is have all your ducks in a row, have your to do the right thing. I would have all your client lists and where you are in progress with those people. What are the deals you're working on right now that you can hand over to the boss so they can take that stuff and move forward with it? That's the right way to leave. Hand them something that they can work from. Remember, this is a business is all about relationships, right? Having somebody trust you. And I promise you're leaving with grace, you're leaving with respect, and keeping the other person okay will make all the difference in the world. You can't control what they say about you. You can't control how they behave, but you can control how you behave. Keep it calm. Stay in your adult frame of mind. This is not a time for whining or for arguing or for yelling or even for talking too much. Take a few minutes, take a deep breath before you go in and say, you're going to be really pissed at me. What are you talking about? I'm leaving. I'm going to work for another company. I'm going to do whatever. Let them respond. I would not answer too many questions. I just say, look, a lot of this stuff, I feel like you've got a lot of stuff you need to sort out. I'm going to give you the time and space to do that. I'll be happy to meet with you tomorrow or later on today and give you my folder with my files of where everything is so that you guys won't be left in a lurch. Even if you're going to work for the competitor, that's the right thing to do. Understand at that point, you may become, depending upon the company and the industry, you may become persona non grata immediately. Some people will say, get the fuck out of this office right now. Fine. If you're going to work for the competitor, you need to expect that to happen. If you're not going to work for a competitor, chances are often people will give you a little bit more time. Maybe it's 2 weeks. I think you can offer 2 weeks if you want to. A lot of people won't let you take that. Right? Even if they ask you to hang around for longer than that, unless it's extremely extenuating circumstances, get the hell out. Once you've decided to leave, it's time to leave. Hold your head up high when you leave so that they can only say he treated this with respect. Don't give them a reason to talk bad about you. Handle yourself. Don't make excuses. Handle yourself and handle them with respect. And there's no way in hell that can ever hurt you, as opposed to going in and blowing people up, which can absolutely hurt you, and other people can and will undermine you in your career, and they'll say shitty things about you, which I know we're not supposed to care about, but other people do. References do. Remember that the other person, when you go to resign, you're blowing up their world. Give them some grace for that. Give them space. You're not going to teach them anything about themselves or their company. They're not going to hear it. It's all noise in their head as they're going, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Get in, get out, be a professional, move on. When somebody asks you what happened or why did you leave, say, I just found a better opportunity. I'm excited about this new opportunity. I'm looking forward to my new opportunity. I felt like it was a better fit for me. That's all you need to say. The more that you trash your former company, the worse things will be for you. It makes you look like a chump. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. All of us, I'm assuming, will have to quit a job at least once or twice. I hope I've quit my last job till I retire, if I ever do that. Pay attention to this. If you know somebody that's thinking about resigning or moving on, send them this podcast. Let them listen. In the meantime, if you have not subscribed to this thing, please do. Give me a rating of 5 stars. Let's help raise up the ranks. We're getting really good reviews and we're getting really good traction. And I love that. Let's keep making it happen. If it's time for you to have a coach, if it's time for you to find out what it's like working with a coach, send me an email, walker@walkermckay.com. Let's have a quick, no BS conversation, 20, 30 minutes, no pressure from me. Chances are I'll try to talk you out of hiring me. I'm not the right fit for everybody, and you're not the right one for every coach. So be careful about that. Thank you, No BS sales team. Keep moving. I'm proud of you, and I love hearing from you how you're doing and how you're taking the stuff you learn here and other trainings and putting it to use.